So today I have the most special guest of the semester, Melissa Mazio, our teaching assistant for the spring course. Melissa is a social entrepreneur in her own right, and today I want to ask you about what it's been like building your venture while doing a joint degree. You're doing MBA and MEM, Masters of Environmental Management. Okay, so first tell us, what is your startup?
Sure, and thank you for having me. So the startup I've been working on is called Hand Me Up. It's a children's secondhand clothing marketplace. So we have kind of an omni-channel approach to selling secondhand kids' clothes that are in high quality condition. We're trying to encourage more sustainable use of clothing, encourage a more circular economic model. Our kind of main product is a subscription box. So you can kind of, as a family, you can buy a box of outfits that we curate specifically for your kid based on your kid's size and your style preferences. You keep the clothes as long as you need, and then you can sell the box back to us, and we'll send you the next size up. So instead of kind of accumulating clothing and having to have it go to landfill, we can find a second home for it. And we're also selling through an e-commerce website and a brick and mortar store back in my hometown in Massachusetts.
What are you hoping to achieve with all this? Like, what is the vision of the world that you're trying to create?
Yeah, so I'm personally really, really passionate about sustainability and sustainable consumption in particular. And that's something that I've just kind of done in my own life for a long time. I, only shop secondhand for the most part for most of my clothes and a lot of my home goods as well. It's something that I think as individuals we can reduce our own environmental impact by shopping secondhand and repurposing goods instead of buying new. And it was just in the past few years that I realized that it was something that I could actually make my career out of as well, and try to expand my impact in that way by starting a venture that focuses on sustainable consumption in particular. In terms of just greenhouse gas emissions and pollution and water use, et cetera, the apparel industry is incredibly wasteful and problematic. So anything that would kind of help reduce the need for production of new goods, and also just encouraging, a mindset around, normalizing the act of shopping secondhand and reducing the stigma around that is something that's really important to me.
So when you tell the story, it all sounds like it fits in together perfectly and it flows so beautifully. But I'm sure that that's not what your journey has actually been like. There must have been many ups and downs. So tell us a little bit about that. What have been some of the challenges?
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's very much true when, you say that the life of a social entrepreneur is kind of a roller coaster. There's a lot of highs and you get really excited when, you're pitching at competitions and you're getting a lot of positive validation. But then there's a lot of lows in terms of just feeling very overwhelmed by everything you need to do, seeing potential competitors come onto the space and worrying that your offering is not good enough. So I think it's just been, it's been really good to kind of keep a good perspective on why I'm doing this. And I think it is really, really important that this is something that I have a really strong personal passion for. I think that's the main reason why I'm able to kind of make it through the times that are a little bit more challenging. But yeah, kind of having that longer term vision for why I want to be doing this is really helpful.
Yeah. And over the course of the semester, as the students in our class have been building their own ventures, and we've been having a guest come in and share their own social entrepreneurship journey, I feel like so many insights have emerged where we're all like, yes, that's what we should be doing. So what have been some of your favorite insights or just general thoughts or lessons that have stuck with you the most?
Yeah, I think one that really stuck with me is the concept of lived experience, which we were just talking about a little bit. And that's something that is really important to me. The work that I was doing before coming to school and working on this venture was something I really cared about, but it was not something that I had lived experience in, and I kind of always felt that. So now that I've transitioned into working on this particular venture, which I am personally very passionate about, and I do have lived experience in secondhand clothing. My mom owns a kids consignment shop, which is kind of, this venture is an extension of the work that she's done with that. She's owned it for 20 years now. So I grew up working at the store and wearing clothes from the store. And, the hobby that we share as a family is to go thrift shopping together. So that's very much a part of my own experience, and I think I've seen from a lot of the speakers that have come in, and also a lot of the ventures that the students are working on themselves, that it's more, you are just so much better equipped to solve the challenges that you're trying to solve if it is something that you have lived experience in, and it is something that you yourself are kind of either a user of the product or, you know, somehow affected by the work itself.
Yeah, because you're trying to solve a problem, and unless you've experienced that problem firsthand, you might not be the best positioned to know what a solution would look like.
Even if you have the best of intentions, I think you don't necessarily know what's needed as well.
Exactly. I think one of my favorite insights that came out last week when we were doing the, you know, like wrap up and brainstorming was be your own second mover. And in terms of first mover advantage isn't really, at the end of the day, it doesn't really pan out as an advantage. Usually the first mover just goes in and does all the innovation and takes all the risks and does all the failure. And then once they've established the proof of concept, the second mover comes in taking all the lessons and taking the market. And so a lot of the students were saying that they're worried about competition, and you just mentioned that as well, which reminded me about it. It's like, yeah, fail fast, keep iterating, and then be your own second mover, where maybe your first venture or like the V 1.0 can fail, and then the V 2.0 can succeed.
Right.
So I think that's something that I would keep in mind moving forward. Like, don't worry about competition. A lot of students always ask me, is it okay to even, you know, we say get user feedback as much as you can, and then people come back to me with, well, should I be talking to people about it? What if someone steals my idea? And it's like, if they steal your idea, then it wasn't really, you didn't have an unfair advantage, right?
Right.
So I think you just have to get out there and start doing the work and get as many failures under your belt as you can so that you can then be the one to finally succeed.
Yeah, and I think with social entrepreneurship in particular, you know, it's not a zero-sum game. There's not only one that can be the winner, and only one organization that's going to push forward whatever solution you are trying to push forward, you know, and different people have different approaches, but in the end of the day, we are all trying to make the world better in whichever.
Not just that, but you're also creating new markets, especially your example. You'll hopefully be creating demand for a circular economy and for enterprises that are serving that economy. So it's not that you and other competitors are slicing up the pie into smaller pieces. It's that you're building a bigger pie.
Yes. Yeah, and that's something, you know, we've talked about a lot as a team. You know, we don't want to be putting other consignment shops out of business, right? That's not the approach that we're trying to make. We're trying to get there to be more options to shop for secondhand goods, make the experience better for shoppers, modernize the experience for the sellers themselves. There's a lot of room for improvement, and I don't think we need to like disrupt the entire industry in a way that is harmful. We want to kind of expand the offering to everybody.
Yeah, and disruption can be a positive thing. It doesn't always have to mean putting people out of business.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's been so much fun working with you this semester. Thank you so much for being my TA, and thanks for joining us for the last podcast.
Of course. Thank you for having me.